What's up, guys? A lot of y'all have been asking me how do you make your studio acapellas for your remixes and stuff, and so I decided to make a video for anyone that wants to know how to make a studio acapella, or at least kind of almost a studio acapella, out of a studio instrumental and out of the full track. And so the technique that we're going to be using is the one where you line up the two tracks, like invert one of them, and then they'll cancel each other out and you'll have only the vocals. Hopefully this will be the most detailed tutorial video on how to do this, because a lot of the videos and a lot of the web pages that I've seen, they kind of just tell you, hey, line them up and then invert them and then do a thing, and it's supposed to magically work. And so really it's kind of a bit more involved than that, and I don't think I remember seeing any tutorials that kind of explain it in all the detail that's actually needed to get it done right. So hopefully this will fill in the gap for that. Alright, so let's get started. You're going to need two things for this first. First thing is actually two things. You're going to need to get the official track, and you're also going to get the official instrumental. It's really important that you get the absolute highest quality files you can get. If you can get like the lossless like waves or FLACs, that's like the best. If you can get 320 kilobit per second MP3s, that's awesome too. You can't use any like unofficial instrumentals. You can't use any like DIY or homemade or like cover instrumentals. It has to be like the exact thing, just because of the way that all the waves like kind of mathematically work. And so here I have two files. I have the original song, and I have the off vocal, which is like the official one. Off vocal is another word for instrumental, and so that's going to be the first set of things that you're going to need. The second thing that you're going to need is a DAW of some sort. Now, while I personally use like Ableton to produce, I find this is like way easier to do than something really like low level and simple like Audacity. And so Audacity is a free open source tool. If you're watching this video, you probably know what it is. And so yeah, let's just use Audacity, because anyone can get it. It's for Mac, it's for Windows, it's for Linux. Yeah. Alright, so we're just going to go take the two files, and we're going to go pop them straight into Audacity. It's the first file loading. This is the second file loading. And then let's open this up. And so if you're using Audacity, I'm not sure what the key is on a Mac or on a Linux, but on Windows at least, you can hold Control and then use a scroll wheel, and then you can like zoom in and out. And so you'll notice right off the bat that the two tracks are not lined up. And so what I kind of like to do is go in an area that looks like it's a good reference point. Like here, there's kind of like an edge that you can see, and it's pretty easy to line stuff up there. So we're going to zoom in over here. And as we get closer, we're going to go take this tool over here. It's the left-right arrow thing up here. And we're just going to keep moving the tracks over. And then we're going to go zoom in. Just going to move it over again. And so you'll see that as we get closer, there's actually some details over here which become more visible as you zoom in. And so the way that this works, you need to get it as close as possible as you can to an exact match. So the only way that we're going to do this is just by zooming in more and more. And once you get to this point, this is where all the actual like samples are. This is basically the equivalent of like atoms for like sound waves and stuff for digital audio. And so yeah, when we zoom into this point, you'll see that like all those long ones line up, all those long ones line up, and the short ones line up, and you'll notice that some of these are a bit different, and that's due to the difference between the vocal version and the instrumental. And so if we play it back at this point, you can't tell that there's two tracks going on. It almost sounds like one track. And so this next part that we do is we just take any of the tracks and we just highlight it, click this, and then like double click it, and then go to, what is it, Effect, go to Invert, and what this does is it takes the waveform and it like flips it upside down. And so now when you listen to it, you should be able to get something that's pretty clean and usable for remix. So yeah. And if you compare it to the original, you can hear there's a huge difference. Now, something to keep in mind is that due to like compression and like mastering and mixing differences between like when you render something with the vocals versus when you render something without the vocals, the two tracks are not going to be exactly the same in terms of what's not the vocals, and so this kind of results in a bit of the artifacts. Sometimes you can hear some of the synths and some of the drum samples that are playing in the track, but for what it's worth, like, it's a lot quieter than in the original track, and whenever you do like a remix or something, whatever you put on top of it should be able to cover it up. And so yeah, the only way that you're gonna get something better is if you somehow break into the studio and grab like the actual vocal track, and that's realistically not going to happen. I'm assuming that you've tried to look for an official acapella version, and if it's not out, then, well, it's not out. And so this is the most that we can do if we have the official track and the official instrumental. So yeah, the last step to do is just export it. Just get a file, export as WAV, and that should be it. It's pretty easy. Yeah. That's it. That's how you make a acapella out of an instrumental and a full track. Yo, thanks for watching. Go make some dope ass shit.